We firmly believe in and appreciate the role of regional and sub-regional organizations in addressing regional challenges, be it development or peace and security challenges. As the host of the East African community, we remain committed to the East African Vision 2050, and we will continue to champion the Common Market Protocol and the promotion of Kiswahili as a regional lingua franca. Tanzania has successfully moved from a position of cautious protectionism to one of proactive leadership, facilitating free movement of goods, labor, and services that underpins the 2026 goal of a more unified and competitive East African cooperation. Excellencies, as founding member of SADC, our role in the region will continue to be defined by a resolute commitment to collective security and the principle that regional development is impossible without peace. Tanzania can be viewed as a consensus builder for its pivotal role of successfully hosting the landmark joint EAC SADC Summit in Dar es Salaam to harmonize fragmented peace processes into a single cohesive African-led framework. This summit sent a clear message that just as our challenges are shared, so must be our solutions, reaffirming the mantra African solutions for African problems. Excellencies, on the continental stage, Tanzania's voice has never been more vital. As the third vice chairperson of the African Union and a member of the African Union Peace and Security Council over the past 4 years, the United Republic of Tanzania has played an active and constructive role in shaping Africa's governance and peace and security architecture. Guided by a long-standing tradition of Pan-African solidarity and responsible multilateralism, Tanzania has consistently championed diplomacy, inclusive dialogue, and African-led solution as the most effective pathways to conflict resolution, social cohesion, national unity, and lasting stability. Through principled engagement in council deliberations, calm and balanced diplomacy, and steadfast respect to constitutional order, Tanzania has contributed meaningfully to timely responses to conflict and emerging security challenges, thereby enforcing or reinforcing the credibility, unity, and effectiveness of African Union Peace and Security Council in advancing a peaceful, secured, and resilient continent. Excellencies, in addition, we are using our mandate in the AU Bureau to drive the second 10-year plan of Agenda 2063, specifically focusing on African Free Continental Trade Area, full implementation, and the global elevation of Kiswahili as a tool for trade. In leveraging the African Continental Free Trade Area, Tanzania continues to engage in trade activities, whereas we have recorded positive balance of trade through the African Continental Free Trade Area Guided Trade Initiative. Also, as the champion of women and youth in trade and African Continental Free Trade Area, I call upon the international community to support the financial inclusion agenda for women and youth to facilitate their involvement in trade. On multilateralism, Excellencies, we are meeting at a time when the global architecture of cooperation is under strain. Growing unilateralism threatens to bypass the very institutions that have maintained global peace for decades. Tanzania's response to this trend is clear. Multilateralism is not optional, it is essential. Tanzania's commitment to regionalism and multilateralism remains unshaken. In an area of growing unilateralism, we believe multilateral platforms are the only way to balance interests and coordinate actions for the global good. In 2025, we utilize every multilateral platform to advocate for a more equitable global financial architecture, refuse to be mere spectators in debates that affect our sovereignty. We use our voice to urge the global powers to ensure that the rules of the international system work for many, not just for the few. Excellencies, the year 2025 also carried special significance for the international community as the 80th anniversary of the United Nations. For Tanzania, this milestone was not merely commemorative. It was an opportunity to reaffirm our enduring faith in multilateralism, international cooperation, and the founding principles of the United Nations. In our engagement at the United Nations during this anniversary year, Tanzania underscored a clear message that the credibility and relevance of the multilateral system must be preserved through equity, inclusiveness, respect for international law, and meaningful reform, particularly to ensure that the voices and interests of developing countries are fully reflected. Tanzania reaffirmed that peace, development, and human dignity are inseparable, and that global challenges demand collective, rule-based solutions rather than unilateral actions. Excellencies, it is undeniable that Tanzania's outlook on the global scene in 2025 was both prospective and challenging. In the year 2026, our voice will be raised to offer solutions, and our efforts will be concerted to resolve challenges. We'll do so guided by our traditional tenets of promotion of peace and stability, good neighborliness, adherence to the principle of non-alignment, non-interference in domestic affairs of other countries, upholding human rights, including the rights to development, and promoting regionalism and multilateralism. Tanzania will therefore not seek to take sides in a divided world, but rather will seek to build bridges that will bring the world together. Our commitment is towards a world governed by law, not by force. Excellencies, it will be remiss of me if I do not appreciate the support rendered by your respective governments to various candidatures of Tanzania in different organizations whose elections was held in 2025. Moreover, in advancing our cultural diplomacy, Tanzania continues to champion the promotion of Kiswahili as a unifying language that connects peoples, culture, and economies across borders. A particularly historic milestone was reached last year with UNESCO's decision to recognize Kiswahili as one of the official languages of its General Conference. This decision of a profound importance, as it marks the very first time a language of African origin has been accorded such status as the organization's highest decision-making body. Thank you very much, UNESCO. In conclusion, Your Excellencies, Tanzania remains a friend for all. We are non-aligned but multi-engaged, bridging the global West concessional support or the global East infrastructure support. We seek sovereign pragmatism and engage in partnership that respect our autonomy while delivering mutual prosperity. The United Republic of Tanzania is focusing on its future. We seek trade, not aid, technology transfer, not technical assistance. We welcome collaboration in de-risking projects through development financing institutions, export credit, blended finance, and risk insurance. We encourage deeper private sector linkages and strong people-to-people ties through education, skills partnership, and cultural cooperation. We are building a nation that has learned from its past and focusing on its future. I urge you to look beyond the headlines of the past months and see the structural reforms we are undertaking. Our doors are open, our policy is clear, and our resolve is firm. Let us move from dialogue to delivery and from shared intent to shared impact. Let us build together for global prosperity. I end my remarks as I began by wishing you, your families, staffs, governments, organizations, a happy and prosperous New Year 2026. May I now request you to join me in a toast. Let's toast for the continued peace and prosperity of the United Republic of Tanzania, for the strengthened friendship and cooperation between Tanzania and your countries and organizations, and for the continued well-being of all of us here present. Cheers, and a Happy New Year. Thank you very much. Asante sana. Coca-Cola.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the President, for your leadership and for your reflection of 2025 and sharing your vision for 2026. And specifically, you are resolved to use your second term to repair, rebuild, and renew our nation. This, Your Excellency, is truly living the saying that life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forward. And for that to happen, your call for partnership speaks volumes. That Tanzania remains a friend for all. Your Excellency, the President, we thank you. Your Excellency, Excellencies, honorable guests, we will now move forward from formal remarks to a one-by-one greet Her Excellency the President session. Your Excellency, with your permission, may I kindly invite you to proceed to the center of the stage for the diplomatic community to greet you. Thank you, Your Excellency. Your Excellencies, we kindly request that we keep it brief. Your Excellencies, we kindly remind you to keep it brief. Your Excellency, thank you for your patience. May you kindly be seated as we arrange for the photo session. Thank you.
And welcome back to Jeff Quinange live here at Citizen Television. On the bench tonight, it's the firebrands. They may be backbenchers, but I'm telling you, these MPs are outspoken. Kiaro MP Didi Nyoro is in the house, as is Embakasi East Member of Parliament Babu Owino. Gentlemen, let me start with you, Didi, real quick. Look, why are you so uneasy with your party? Since, you know, it's not so long ago, you were the blue-eyed boy of UDA. Kwani kuliendaje?
Jeff, I think you should ask the party that, because I think it's the party that deviated. Because when we were campaigning and I had a chance even to come here to sell our agenda, I think the party wholesomely is the one that has deviated from what we were to do. I've spoken on several things, but the primary ones is around the economy. We told Kenyans that we are not going to borrow the kind of money we are borrowing now, that we'd go through on borrowing, because for sustainable development, it's not just about spending now, but also about the future of our economy. Also, we were to give education the primacy it deserves. I don't think now that party is doing what we sold to the Kenyan people, and especially when it comes to the funding for in terms of education. And holistic things like, for example, what you are doing in terms of dissent. People are having alternative voices, as we have seen, especially with the young people, what has been happening. So I think once you get the representatives of the party, it's good that you pose that question to them, because I still believe in the same things we sold to the Kenyan people, and I believe they are the right things to do, whoever is in power.
Are you disappointed then with your party?
I am disappointed, and especially on the same things I've told you about. I am very keen about the economy, because for all the countries that we may admire to be like, all of them, the Asian tigers, the Western countries, what makes the country to be categorized as progressive is how it performs in terms of the economy. And we have not been doing very well. And let me give you just so that you see, and especially between what is sold and what I think we should be doing. Whatever you do economically speaking, the outcomes speak for themselves in terms of the figures. And I'm saying that because I have been seeing that we are investing too much on PR, selling a story, other than just doing the work to speak for itself. The economy of Kenya is growing at 4.9% this year, last year actually of 2025. The figures are still being corroborated, but that is the projection. But if you judge Kenya based on the region, Uganda is growing faster than us. It will grow between 6 and 6.5% in the year 2025. Tanzania is growing faster than us. Rwanda, can you believe this, Jeff?
Go on.
Rwanda in the year 2025 Q3, quarter 3, they grew by double digit, over 10%.
What?
And the overall growth of Rwanda will be 7 to probably 9%, as the figures are being corroborated by the various agencies. So I believe that whatever you do in the small bits, you still get betrayed by the figures. Let me also give some figures in terms of Kenya, comparative to Kenya of the past. And let me compare the three regimes that has been there. When President Mwai Kibaki took over in 2003, our GDP in dollar terms was around $19 billion US. But in his first 3 years, let me compare 3 years because we are in our it is now in the third year. the economy went up to 26 billion US dollars, which was a 36% increment in 3 years. When President Uhuru took over in the year 2013, the economy grew from 61 billion US dollars to around 64. That was around 21% growth in 3 years. When we took over, the GDP of Kenya was around 114 billion US dollars. The projection up to end of 2025, it will be 131 billion US dollars. That is 14.9%. Now, to bring it home in terms of, we use NEC exams. You can times by 2 for us to have the mental comparison in terms of NEC. It means President Kibaki's 3 years, if you times by 2, is 72%. You'll tell me what NEC says about 72%, what grade it is. 21% of President Uhuru is around 42%. If you times by 2, if you times 14.9% by 2, it is apparently 29%. You'll tell me what grade that is in terms of...
That's an F.
Is that what?
It's an F.
Is that what, Jeff? Please.
I said it's an F.
I need to go well. So what I'm trying to say, we all want Kenya to progress, and that is why we keep on giving alternative voices. But for Kenya to progress, we have to start on the basis of reality and truth. So that when we tell Kenyans we are going this direction, and the economy is growing, I don't need to buy a tarubeta. Even whispers will speak loud. That is why I'm disappointed.
Okay, Babu, same thing with you in ODM. You know, you seem to be very close to, you're Baba's boy. Baba, there's never an occasion where you got up and didn't praise Baba to no end. And yet, you're still outside the tent, man. You know, what's up?
Jeff, I must tell you that deep down my heart, I loved Baba and I still love Baba. Actually, Baba, there's no any other leader in this country that I will love the way I loved Baba. We suffered together. We campaigned together. I went to 280 constituencies out of 290 constituencies because of Baba. I was the first person to have been abducted in this government, and they disappeared with me for 3 good days because of the love that I had for Baba. We were beaten at Soi, the chopper that was stoned. We were almost dying in that chopper because of my love for Baba. I was doing mobilization for Baba in Nairobi. So I was Baba's boy, I was Baba's right-hand man, I was Baba's errand boy. And that is the love that I had for Baba. And Jeff, our Baba, passed on, quite unfortunate. It was a sudden death that we are still mourning up to date. And Jeff, because of that, the general is dead. Long live the general, but the dream is still alive. The fact that the general is dead, Jeff, then we need to ask ourselves a simple question in ODM, that what kind of a general do we need to take after Baba? Do we need the weakest general, or do we need the strongest general, or do we need a parachuted general? Our Moses is gone, and when Moses was leaving, he left at Mount Nebo, then handed over to Joshua. The next question we must ask ourselves, Jeff, is that, do we need a Joshua who is Moses' age mate, or who is older than Moses, or a Joshua who is younger than Moses? The answer is simple, Jeff. We need a Joshua who is younger than Moses, a Joshua with the vim, with the vigor, with the courage, with the temerity to take the people that Baba left to Canaan, because we've already seen Canaan, and I will come back and talk about Canaan versus Singapore, because Baba left us telling us to go to Canaan. Now we are being diverted to go to Singapore. The distance between Singapore and Canaan is 7,800 kilometers. People keep on saying that they dreamt, that Baba sent them a dream, and Baba, we've not even been told by our great mom, Mama Ida Odinga, that Baba has sent him a dream, sent her a dream, sorry. But people are saying the way they've dreamt 7, 8 times about Baba, what Baba said. But why can't they say that Baba told us to go to Canaan and not to Singapore. I want to tell you one thing, Jeff, that in the book of Joel 2 verses 28, the Bible says clearly that old men will dream dreams, but young men will see the vision. That means that for you to dream dreams, you must be asleep. You must be at comfort zone. You must be at rest. Therefore, our old men are now at comfort zone and at rest. They are at rest because of the wars that they fought and brought it this far. They are at rest because of the sweat, the toil, and the moil. Because they fought for this nation. And it is time for them to hand over the baton to the young generation who are seeing the next future, who are seeing the generation, who are seeing for the next generation, who are seeing the future. That those young people will change this nation, will ensure that the high cost of living goes down, will ensure that overtaxation is no longer there in this nation, will ensure that employment is given to our young men and women, will ensure that quality education and affordable is given to our children, equal to healthcare. And that when the time for the young men to hand over riches once they become old, they will also hand over to other young men and women who will ensure that the dream is kept alive.
Okay.
And Jeff,
go on.
Current ODM that we have
does
not talk about what Baba stood for. Baba never went to look for coalitions. Baba never went to look for other parties. Other parties came to look for Baba. This that we are going to look for is a different ODM. So therefore, the leadership of ODM must ensure